I want us to get onto the phone lines right now because I want us to have a conversation with Interior Minister Mohammed Mubarak Muntaka. And I'm sure you may have heard all the things that have been said following the passing of the 8 that he was supposed to be one of them. But for me, that's not my interest today. God will definitely give and take, but we want to understand these persons because he knew them. So the president is urging all of us to actually build the Ghana they would have wanted. Who were they and what did they envisage for Ghana? That is what we want to discuss with Mohammed Mubarak Muntaka. Thank you very, very much for joining us, Honorable Mohammed Mubarak Muntaka. I know these are difficult times for you, and so we're grateful that you made time to join us. Now, these are persons that you know. These are persons that you've worked with. What were they passionate about, and what did they stand for?
Well, let me start by thanking you so much for this opportunity. We wish all of us and say good morning to everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to the Muslim community. Like you rightly said, this is a huge monumental loss to us and very, very traumatizing for some of us. I mean, for obvious reasons. I mean, all the age, interestingly, I've had an encounter with each and every one of them. Maybe to start with the list as not in terms of importance, but just to show how I relate to each of them very briefly in a minute. The team, we are starting with Anana. They flew me to Tamale and then to Kumasi and back to Accra. He flew me to Asimposi twice. The team flew me to Akafo, all on stage, Islamic. So I'm still very conversant and familiar with them. Very professional, very calm guys, very respectful. Now, imagine, he is the youngest. I mean, our candidate for 2020 and 2024, and I remember very well speaking for how my focus was on constituencies that we already have, and those that we are very optimistic that we could take, that are the 50-50, and how we should channel our resources to support those ones. And it was one of our big focus. And then when he lost, he was really down. I had to speak to him, encourage him, tell him my story, my journey to Parliament and all that, just to pick him up. And I ended up recommending him to the president for him to be appointed as national, not more deputy coordinator. And that's where office occupied his eye. Dr. Sapon, as you may know, he first won election in 2009, was then working with Syria for the office, and he came to my house trying to be the mayor of Kumasi, and we worked together. He became mayor of Kumasi, later the regional minister, and on till now as our vice chair. We've been working together. Nothing happened upon us, so we wait that he will not be there. So we know each other very well. You come to Dr. Murtala. Everybody in my conference knows Murtala to be my brother. There's not a single thing that will be the conference that will not be doing together. Yes, like President Mama rightly mentioned, we mentored him very closely when he came to Parliament as a younger brother. And he stood for the values of Islam. Some of it is don't cheat, don't allow yourself to be cheated. The other thing is stood up very strongly. It is one of the strongest teachings of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Where as a Muslim, if you see the wrong being done, you have 3 things you can do. You fight it with strength. If you don't have the strength to fight it, you speak very loudly with your voice. If you are not able to speak with your voice, hate it deep down in you. So because of this character of Dr. Murtala. A lot of people at a distance see him to be a very aggressive person. But when you get closer to him, you find him a very fantastic person. Very accommodating, very forgiving, very easy to do things with.
Sure.
But believe me, regardless of who you are with him, if something is going to go wrong, it's not something that he hesitates. He doesn't give it like a second thought. It just comes. And I want to believe that my colleagues in cabinet will attest to this. It is in cabinet, it's something, I mean, everybody could say, oh, this is the way to go, and even the president himself. Once Murtala doesn't believe in it or he doesn't feel comfortable with it, he will speak his mind. And he has a principle that says, look, let me let everybody know where I stand. Even if you disagree with me, and let posterity be the judge. It's something that he has done again and again and again. First as the president of the Lambton, and then later Tamale Central in the House. I have had great privilege to work with him very closely because, I mean, by the grace of God and all humility, being a member of Parliament for over 2 decades, having served as the chief whip both in majority and minority. And I recollect one incident when he was a deputy minister. And he was also a member of the finance committee. And he had some challenges with the bench from the finance committee. That's honorable Plato, what do you call it? James Aveji.
Yeah.
And it came to me as chief whip then. Remember that time, the speaker today, Right Honorable Speaker Biden, was the majority leader. And I was the chief whip, the speaker, then majority chief whip. And usually the chief whip manages this. Even as my younger brother, I tried to speak to him. He has this very strong, what we call oppositionist, and he will not let go. And at the point, I have to remove him from the committee so that the committee can really be able to work because he was in constant conflict with the Honorable Aveji. He wasn't happy, but believe me, he walked to me as a senior bro. I don't think I've been fairly treated. Simply because I'm the junior doesn't make me wrong. You should have listened to both sides and take a very bold decision. This is Murtala. Regardless of the relation that you have with him, if you do something that he feels very strongly that this thing is not right, he will confront you. If later he realizes that he is wrong, he is the type that will come back to you and apologize. He's not, I mean, you see him at a distance, he looks like a very aggressive person because the way he speaks and the way he espouses his views, but believe me, he's a very soft person when you get closer to him. I can tell you that we've lost these great guys. And to come to Dr. Omane, oh my goodness, this is a gentleman of excellence. My first encounter with Dr. Omane was in around 2005, 2006. That time, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, my leader, was the youth organizer, even though we were all members of Parliament. And Uncle Atu Uncle had put up a group, we call it GAME, Get Atamas Elected. And all of us, myself and Honorable Haruna Idrisu, Mama Yaga, were all members of this GAME. And I remember at that time we were fairly young, it was in our late 30s. And we were tasked to mobilize the youth, and with Honorable Haruna Idrisu leading as the youth organizer. We had our encounter in the University of Cape Coast, and when we were going there, Honorable Haruna said that we have to go and pick a young person, a former youth president, who we want to bring on our fold and is going to be helpful. So we drove to around, I'm not very familiar with Accra, but around that small area, then went and picked him. So we sat in the car and Honorable Haruna introduced him to me, and that was the first time I knew him. And since then, we went to Cape Coast, we did all of the things together, and we kept working till we were lucky by the grace of God to win 2008 election. And then we came to Parliament. Some of us were lucky to come back to Parliament and kept working. To cut a long story short, he came to a point that he knew that if anybody was coming to Parliament, he would tell him, go and see Muntaka. If you get yourself closer to Muntaka, you will appreciate and understand how Parliament works. And if he had anything to do in Parliament, he always fall on me. Even when he later became Minister for Communication and all. Most recently, working in the security area, I have found the biggest ally in Dr. Omane. You see him very unassuming, very calm, but very tactical. He's very, very strategic. And you see, this Galamsey fight is painful that we have to lose such illustrious sons in the fight against Galamsey. And I'll tell you one incident where we had one of the top meetings. Anytime I said in this our conversation, top meetings, when the president himself was chairing. And then Dr. Omane then said, Your Excellency, I want us to make a solemn promise to you, all of us around this day, that not us, not people close to us, or our officials, whether directly or indirectly, are involved in Galamsey. And I start with myself that he made the affair. He made the solemn affirmation to the president. And he demanded that all of us do. I was thinking about that. How will my colleagues just do this? So when we finished, then I asked him, bro, he and I will call each other, bro.
Sure.
Why did you do that? He said, Muntaka, you are from my country region. That's a Galamsey area. I'm from Eastern region. That's a Galamsey area. Dr. Kalusi, the Secretary to the President, he's from the Savannah. That's Galamsey going on there. Amakofibua is from Western region. Galamsey is going on here. We need to let the President be confident in us that none of us, whether directly or indirectly, are involved in this. And must assure him that we are going to take this fight head on. And in that same meeting, he did something very, very extraordinary. He said, Excellency, I am pledging that if you fail to deal with this Galamsey thing, I put my job on line. I want all of us around you here, Mr. President, demand from all of us to do same, that we are going to fight this thing with all the energy in us, that if we fail to succeed, we should put our jobs online. And that was also another surprising thing to me, because it requires a lot of coordinated effort and not only. I believe me, from that meeting, I realized that there's a new energy in almost all of us in the zeal to end this Galamsey. I will say this before maybe I allow you to continue your questioning. Dr. never liked boarding a helicopter. Since we came, this 7 months, he had never boarded any of the helis. And he hates it. And he keeps warning me. I use it most frequently. If you go and check the Ghana Armed Forces, their records, probably myself, Honorable Harry Medusu, Mama Ayelga, and a few others might have used it more than any other group. Because every time there's something that needs to be done quickly, we think that the easiest is to just go with the helis, because some of the areas don't have airports. And I'll give you one incident. The week before this incident, the weekend, Saturday, we were there, and then there was something that needed to be done urgently in Tamale, and the president asked them to go and deal with it. So I called the Air Force commander, the chief of Air Force, what we call the Air Force commander, that I should prepare the heli for me to go to Tamale and back. But usually when we do this, you have to inform the minister. But you just give them a head start, then you then talk to the minister, you put it into writing where it's necessary. If it's a weekend like the weekend, you use it, and the one you go and come, then you put it into writing for the record to show that you've used it. Then when I called him, he said, Muntaka, I don't know what is wrong with you. Why are you always using this heli? I told you that this thing, I'm not comfortable with it. Why don't you use the casa? The casa is available. Then I said, we are only 2 people going. And you're saying you use casa. Casa, this thing that can take almost 40-something people. I said, I'm going to wait. He said, Muntaka, your safety and the way you do is more important than this cost that you are thinking about. So I'm going to call them to instruct them to change it from the heli to the casa, so that at least you are in a very safe area than this helicopter. Yet, because of the fight against them, he was ready to board the heli to go. For the first time, despite all his reservations about the use of the heli, and yet the first time he used it, he never returned. You understand why some of us are broken. You understand why we are devastated. Knowing very well that his position about the use of heli and how he's not comfortable using it. And because of the firm affirmation he made before the president and the commitment he personally made to the president that we're going to fight this Galamsey with all the energy in us, he was willing to board the helicopter to go in the fight against Galamsey, and he lost his life. These are things that, for me, is so difficult, but alhamdulillah, I've been grateful to Allah with all the well wishes, the people around me, the support, and gradually come out of it. And believe me, this is a monumental loss to some of us, personally, as a state and the government. And to our boss, I pray that the good Lord gives him the strength to be able to carry this loss. Because I know how close he is with Dr. Omane Boamah. He is one of his confidants.
Sure.
I know how very close he is with Allah Dimunir. So this is summary what I would say about this my collection, unless you have some specific.
Just one last thing, because the president has talked about, us honoring them with the Ghana they wanted. But I'd want us to do it this way. What will be the best honor for these persons who lost their lives on the 6th of August? As a country, what is that most important thing that we can do in honor of them?
I really wish our brothers and sisters who are family deeply in this Galamsey will know and appreciate that these people fought and lost their lives in trying to correct the wrong, to help all of us in complying. We are willing to assist you to do legitimate small-scale mining in areas that are not in water bodies, that are not in our forests, that are not by our roadside, in areas that were given to miners, big corporate mining companies, where we have negotiated with them to speed up so that we give it to you. We pray that our citizens will help us in honor of these heroes. Murtala was an environmentalist. The Omane will put his life online to fight Galamsey. Let's end Galamsey. If we are able to end this menace, we'll have respected their wish and we'll have built a Ghana development, a clean water body, a forest that is preserved, our roadside that are not destroyed. So I'm making this passionate appeal to all those who are financing this Galamsey. For heaven's sake, can we concentrate and cooperate with the land ministry so that we do this not for even for ourselves, but for those that have lost their life and their children and family that they have left broken in the service of our country. I think this will be something that if we're able to succeed in doing, will have honored their sweat and sacrifice.
But finally, the task force that has been set up to investigate, the crash, what's it been up to so far? What are the terms of reference, Well,
one of the things that I will tell you, in the security area, we don't want to put the cart before the horse. All I can assure you is that the Armed Forces Council, which I'm a member together with Dr. Omane, met on Friday, and we have set the ball rolling. All we will ask of Ghanaians is to be patient. We can assure them that the President, the Armed Forces Council was chaired by the Vice President, all the members of the Armed Forces Council, including the Foreign Minister, we have made it clear to the committee that speed and time is of great essence. But I'm not in a position to give details for now.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Mohammed Muntaka. We're glad that you made time to join us, and God continue to strengthen you.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.